So what can you do as a public sector marketing pro when you or your staff are facing abuse online? Well, I've come up with 6 steps to help you take practical action. The first thing is that you need to have a social media use policy in place. This provides guidance and advice to staff on how to engage with the public on social media. Yes, we know that the work you do is in the public interest, and people will say, hey, that's taxpayers' money, you're working on behalf of the people. But there is a line that should not be crossed, and that line is abuse, trolling, or harassment. So you need to have a set of guidelines to understand how your staff should engage with the public and what happens when the public step over that unacceptable social media line. And that is very important. And I know some public sector agencies are quite nervous about using the mute button, using the hide button, using the block option. But in reality, you have a role to play in safeguarding staff. So really nailing down your social media use policy and how you protect staff is really important. It's also critical then in step number 2 that you train your staff in the safe and savvy and ethical use of social media. You cannot assume that everybody has a level or a standard of knowledge that is acceptable. And oftentimes you will find that public sector professionals aren't using social media in their personal life. So then when they're expected to use it in their professional life, they don't know what the expectation is, or indeed they don't know what the rules of engagement are. So ongoing CPD training in the use of social media is really important. Step number 3 then is collating the evidence. Law enforcement agencies, legal representatives, and also the social networks will say collate and save and screenshot the evidence of suggested or anticipated abuse. You have to screenshot and date and note the abuse and any other information that you can garner from those accounts, the username, the handle of the account, the time of when the messages are coming in. Are they being sent publicly and are you being tagged, or are they being sent privately? And so it's very, very important that you don't just delete the abusive messages, but you actually keep a record, because you may need them if you might need to report them not only to the social networks, but perhaps to a police force.